Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing one of the Bring Them Home series on episodes. We're doing one of the Bring Them Home episodes on this series of the missing children. And first of all, I want to say, as always, I do not mean any ill will toward anyone involved in this story or anyone involved in the family. What I do is I gather all of my research from the news articles after news article and put it in one video and present it to you. As always, I urge you to do your own research and own investigation, as one of the articles could be incorrect. Therefore, my story could potentially be incorrect. So this video here is not the end-all be-all of this missing child. So do your own research and see what you find out. Let me know if there's something significant that I missed, okay? So, with all that said, let's go ahead and get into it. Today's video is on Teekah Latrace Lewis. I may be saying the middle name wrong. I do completely apologize, but Teekah Lewis, her date of birth was July the 4th, 1996. At the time of the disappearance, she was 2 years old. She disappeared January the 23rd, 1999 from Tacoma, Washington. Her mother is Teresa English Lewis and Robert Lewis. Now, at the time of her disappearance, when she was 2, Teekah lived with her mother, Teresa, while her father was in McNeil Island Correction Center. Teresa had 5 children living in the house with her, one including Teekah. Now, Teekah was a typically adorable 2-year-old little girl. She loved candy, her favorite being Starburst. On the night of her disappearance, she actually had a purse with Starburst in it. There wasn't a whole lot of background that I could find. I mean, she was 2 years old, so it's a very short life at that point. So not a lot was released on her, personality. The family and Teresa's boyfriend, Fred Biggs, went to the bowling alley on Saturday, January the 23rd, 1999, to have, a family night, fun, bowling, what you do in the 90s. But this would be the night that would change their lives forever. It was, like I said, it was like any other bowling alley in the 90s where it was busy, packed, full of kids running all over the place, including the arcade area. Now, Teekah was said to have been playing on one of the race car games in the arcade area, just a few feet away from her mother. Now, Teresa, her mother, went up to bowl. It was her turn to bowl, so she bowled and then she turned back around and Teekah was gone. It was just in a matter of a minute or a sheer few seconds there. It was said that the race car game that Teekah was playing was just 6 feet from the bowling alley's exit. Upon her disappearance, the family and the security guard did look for her and then ended up putting out a message on the loudspeaker to all the customers, but no one came forward of knowing any information about Teekah or her disappearance or seeing her at all. Therefore, Teekah was last seen at 10:30 p.m. at the New Frontier Lanes bowling alley in Tacoma, Washington. There was a report that one of the employees did see a car speeding out of the parking lot at the time of Teekah's disappearance, and it was described as a maroon Pontiac Grand Am in the 80s or 90s model with dark windows and a rear spoiler. Once the police were called, they did do a comprehensive search. They searched the bowling alley. They searched everywhere around the bowling alley. They had dogs. They had cadaver dogs. They did have the helicopters with the infrared technology. It was quickly concluded that she was abducted rather than just wandering off on her own, which is extremely imperative in a missing person or a missing child's case. These next few, bits of information, it's not said how relatable they are and if they are connected at all, but I felt compelled to add them into the story because they just seem a little too close. So just 2 months prior to Teekah's disappearance, there was a attempted abduction of a 6-year-old little boy at the bowling alley. And once the man was caught, he claimed to be the little boy's father. There was another incident that happened just a few weeks prior to that incident, in which a 4-year-old little boy was lured into the bathroom and molested at this bowling alley as well. Same bowling alley, 6-year-old and a 4-year-old little boy, just a few months apart. Now, both of these men were described as being in their 30s with brown curly hair, a mustache, and a beard. Earlier the day of Teekah's disappearance, there was a incident where a man with brown curly hair tried to abduct 2 children from a local park that was just 1 mile from the bowling alley. The father ended up chasing the man off, in which he drove off in a 1999 blue Pontiac Grand Am, whereas the one from the bowling alley said a maroon Pontiac Grand Am. Okay, so this brings me to current. 21 years after Teekah's disappearance, pretty much to the day, there is a new detective assigned to the case. His name is Detective Stephen Riopelle, and I may be saying that incorrectly. It's Reoppelle. I do apologize. I may just call him Detective throughout this, more than likely. But he began combing through the case records and the reports, and he did see that there was a witness on the night of Teekah's disappearance. Now, at the time of the incident where Teekah disappeared, this boy was 17 years old. He is now a man. It's 21 years later. And I guess the news articles and the reports are calling him John. Not more information. The witness said he went to the bathroom, and on his way there, a rude man that seemed to be in a rush bumped into him without saying sorry. He had a little girl with him holding her hand. The man was white, the little girl was biracial, so he didn't think much of it and thought it was just a father that was quickly taking his little girl to the bathroom. When it wasn't until later, when the family was about to leave, in the parking lot there was a ton of cops, but the police did not tell them what or who they were looking for, so they never thought about it. It wasn't until a few days later, it was 2 days later, when they saw the missing child's face on the news. And it was then that the witness knew that man was not the little girl's father. This man, he was interviewed as a witness in 1999, but he said he heard nothing from it. It wasn't until recently when this new detective talked to him, and he did interview him. He gave him the same story and same description of the man. This witness has a very important clue that could potentially help the case along. He said the witness stated that the man that bumped into him had severe pockmarked face. Now, I didn't completely know what pockmarked face was. I thought I did. I was correct. But just in case, I'm going to put it up here so you guys can know. Now, the new detective did continue to comb through the case. He located another witness that had seen a man with a pockmarked face that was at the reenactment a week later after the abduction, that was acting a little strangely, per the witness. So police did contact Teekah's mother in November of 2019 and did show her a picture of this man that they are looking for. And she said that she immediately began crying because she remembered that man from that night. She said it wasn't the kind of man that you want your children around. I haven't been able to locate a picture of this man to help pass along to see if anyone could identify him or even a sketch of this man. But I will say that it just seems very coincidental that these other cases that happened within 2 months and a little bit before that and the day of Teekah's disappearance, that the man has generally the same description as the one that they're looking for now. It seems like he could potentially be a serial rapist or a pedophile, and he escalated his attempts each time, but failing to abduct the children before Teekah on the day of her disappearance, but did get Teekah. And they do say that a lot of the times the suspects will return to the crime scene. So if he was in reenactment a week later after the disappearance, it's not very unlikely for them to do that. The description that I have from this man is he is a white male in his 30s. again in 1999. Around 5 foot 11 inches tall, husky build with shoulder length curly brown hair, a thick mustache, and of course a heavily pock-marked face. The night of her disappearance, he was wearing a blue plaid shirt and faded jeans. Now, Teekah's mother does hold vigils yearly for her missing daughter on the anniversary of her disappearance, and celebrates each birthday in the memory of Teekah. So she definitely obviously has not forgotten, and this new information that just came out at the beginning of this year, I guess I didn't say when that information came out, but the witness that came forward again about the pockmarked face, that was just January of this year, of 2020, so 21 years later. Hopefully it's new enough information that they'll find something, and it's just around the corner that this will be solved. Now, about Teekah Lewis. She was 2 years old. She was African American and Native American female with black hair and natural red and gray highlights, brown eyes, 3 feet tall, 35 pounds, last seen wearing a Tweety Bird t-shirt, white sweatpants, and black and white Air Jordan sneakers, and a clear purse with a fish on it carrying starbursts. She has a quarter-sized birthmark on her buttocks and eczema, which had also caused a light discoloration on her face and the left side of her buttocks. She also has asthma, which could require medical attention. So that's all the information that I have currently on this case. Again, do your own research. If you have more information, obviously contact the authorities that are involved. Now, this one is Tacoma Police Department, and I will post the contact information for them down below in the description box. Again, this man had heavily pockmarked face, around 30, in his 30s. He was about 5 foot 11 inches tall, long brown curly hair. I think they have a picture of him because they showed a picture. I don't know if it was an actual picture, maybe from the reenactment, or if it was a sketch from the police that they showed the mother. But I just kind of wish that they would release that, and maybe someone in the area would know who it is. Thanks for listening, and let's pray that this family gets some positive closure, positive outcome from this. And that's all that I have for you guys. Thank you for joining. Love you.